JINGER DUGGAR, once a prominent figure on the popular TLC reality series 19 Kids and Counting and its later iteration Counting On, has long been associated with the conservative Christian Duggar family, known for their strict adherence to fundamentalist beliefs, modesty, and courtship practices. Over the years, JINGER has gradually distanced herself from the public image of her family, embracing a more independent path, spiritually, intellectually, and personally. Her marriage to Jeremy Vuolo, a former seminary student and pastor, was initially portrayed as a union rooted in faith, shared values, and mutual devotion. However, recent revelations from Jeremy Vuolo have cast a shadow over that narrative, exposing what he describes as a deep betrayal that significantly impacted their relationship. In a candid and emotionally charged interview, Jeremy opened up about the challenges that have strained their marriage, speaking with a level of vulnerability rarely seen from someone raised in such a sheltered and image-conscious environment. While the couple has maintained a public presence through social media, podcasts, and occasional appearances, their private struggles have largely remained hidden until now. Jeremy's account does not center on infidelity or scandal in the traditional sense, but rather on a profound spiritual and emotional rift that he says left him feeling isolated, misled, and deeply wounded. At the heart of his disclosure is the evolving nature of JINGER's faith. Once a staunch adherent to the conservative, rule-based Christianity of the Institute in Basic Life Principles, IBLP, the same belief system that shaped the Duggar family's worldview, JINGER has undergone a significant transformation in her spiritual journey. Over the past several years, she has publicly questioned long-held doctrines, embraced more progressive theological perspectives, and distanced herself from the teachings she once defended. Her 2023 memoir, Becoming Free Indeed, served as a pivotal moment in this evolution, detailing her struggles with legalism, fear-based religion, and the emotional toll of growing up under a rigid religious structure. While many praised the book as a courageous act of self-liberation, Jeremy revealed that JINGER's shift was not a gradual, mutual exploration they navigated together, but rather a personal transformation she undertook largely in isolation. "I felt like I was waking up one day to find that the woman I married had changed in ways I wasn't prepared for," he shared. "It wasn't just that her beliefs were different. It was that she didn't invite me into that process. There was no conversation, no dialogue, just a quiet dismantling of everything we had built our marriage on." Jeremy described the foundation of their relationship as deeply rooted in shared theology. From the beginning, their courtship and marriage were framed as a spiritual partnership, two believers committed to serving God, raising children in the faith. He recounted moments when he would bring up theological discussions, only to be met with hesitation or deflection. "I'd ask her about something we used to agree on, like the role of women in the church or the interpretation of certain scriptures, and her answers would be different. Not just nuanced, but fundamentally changed. And when I'd press her, she'd say she was still processing, that she didn't have it all figured out. But I needed more than that. I needed partnership." The betrayal Jeremy speaks of is not one of dishonesty in the conventional sense, but of emotional and spiritual abandonment. "When you marry someone, you expect to grow together," he explained. "You expect to face challenges side by side. But it felt like she was growing in a direction I wasn't even aware of, and I was left behind." That's the deepest kind of betrayal, not deception, but disconnection. He emphasized that his pain was not rooted in judgment of JINGER's new beliefs. "I'm not saying she's wrong for questioning things. In fact, I believe faith should be examined. But the way it happened, privately, without me, made me feel like our marriage wasn't a priority. Like her journey was more important than our unity." The revelation has sparked a wave of reactions across social media and religious communities. Supporters of JINGER have praised her courage in seeking truth and breaking free from what many describe as a harmful religious system. They argue that personal growth, especially in matters of faith, is not always linear or easily shared, and that Jeremy's expectations may reflect an outdated model of marital conformity. "Women are allowed to evolve," one commentator wrote. "Marriage shouldn't require one partner to freeze their spiritual development to keep the other comfortable." Others, however, have expressed sympathy for Jeremy, acknowledging the difficulty of navigating such a profound shift within a marriage. "It's one thing for an individual to change," said a pastoral counselor familiar with the dynamics of faith-based relationships. "It's another when that change redefines the core values of a shared life. If not handled with care, transparency, and ongoing communication, it can feel like a form of emotional exile." The situation is further complicated by the public nature of their lives. As public figures, every aspect of their relationship is subject to scrutiny, interpretation, and projection. Fans of the Duggar family have long viewed Jinger and Jeremy as a model couple, devout, disciplined, and committed to traditional values. Their perceived stability offered comfort to viewers navigating their own faith journeys. Now, with Jeremy speaking openly about pain and disconnection, that image has been disrupted. Yet, in his telling, there is no animosity toward Jinger. "I love her," he said plainly. "I still do. But love isn't always enough to bridge a chasm that's been growing for years. I'm not looking to assign blame. I'm trying to make sense of why." Moreover, it highlights the gendered dimensions of spiritual transformation. Jinger's journey has been celebrated by many as an act of female empowerment, a woman reclaiming her voice, mind, and soul from a system that sought to control them. Yet, Jeremy's pain reminds us that such liberation can come with relational costs. The pursuit of personal truth should not require the sacrifice of love, but neither should love demand the suppression of growth. As the conversation continues, one thing is clear: the narrative of Jinger Duggar and Jeremy Vuolo is no longer one of simple devotion or quiet conformity. It is a story of complexity, of two people navigating the aftermath of change, loss, and the search for meaning. It is a reminder that behind every public image lies a private reality, often messy, often painful, but always human. Jeremy's use of the phrase "deep betrayal" may surprise those who equate betrayal only with overt acts of deception or infidelity. But emotional and spiritual disconnection can be just as wounding. To feel unseen, unheard, or unconsulted in the transformation of a shared life is to experience a form of abandonment, one that cuts to the core of what marriage is meant to be. In speaking out, Jeremy has done more than share his pain. He has invited a conversation about what it means to truly walk beside someone, especially when the path changes. He has challenged the myth of perfect unity and opened space for others who have felt similarly adrift in their relationships. Whether Jinger and Jeremy can rebuild their marriage remains to be seen. What is certain is that their story has become a mirror for a generation grappling with faith, identity, and the cost of authenticity. And in a world that often demands simplicity, their journey, fractured, evolving, and deeply human, offers a rare glimpse into the courage it takes to face the truth, even when it hurts. At the time, Amy seemed to embrace the Duggar family's values wholeheartedly. Her courtship with Dylan was portrayed as pure and principled, and their wedding was a carefully orchestrated event that emphasized tradition and faith. But as the years passed and the family faced increasing public scrutiny, particularly surrounding the revelations about her brother Josh Duggar's criminal behavior, Amy's public persona began to shift. While she never directly criticized her family on camera, subtle changes in her demeanor, social media presence, and lifestyle choices hinted at a growing independence. In interviews and through her online platforms, Amy has gradually revealed a more nuanced perspective on her upbringing and current family dynamics. "I love my family deeply," she recently shared in a personal blog post that resonated with many longtime followers. "They raised me with strong values, and I'm grateful for the foundation they gave me. But like any family, we've had our struggles, and we've all had to grow in different ways. One of the most significant turning points